How much gold and silver should we own? Should it be a lot? You hear that a lot here on YouTube, certainly. Whether the world is ending today or tomorrow, for sure, gold and silver have a place, I think, in everybody's portfolio. But gold versus silver, that's an interesting one in its own right. How much gold versus silver should you own? In today's video, I hope to be able to answer some of those questions. And maybe if you are in the situation where you're thinking about getting some, you can make an informed decision. It's what we do best here on this channel. So let's crack on with a precious metal ramble. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. How much gold and silver should you own? Should we really be backing up the truck and getting as much as possible? More importantly, how much gold versus silver should we own? Should we be stacking more of this yellow stuff? Because quite frankly, it's a lot better than silver is all round. But at the same time, there's a lot of potential in silver. So we're told anyway. Where will it go? We don't know. I don't know either. I'm not a financial expert or investment guru, but I aim here today in this video to give you a few bits of tips, I guess, from my own experiences buying gold and silver. Some of the pitfalls of owning lots of big chunky silver bars like this. Running a business in silver has given me a lot of insights into those logistical hurdles when it comes to owning large amounts of silver at a given time. And of course, gold as well, being wonderful and liquid and brilliant, comes with its own pitfalls as well. So we'll talk on that too. Something for everybody, I think, in this video. And I think food for thought. That's why I do these kind of videos. I'd love to know what you think down in the comment section about how much gold and silver is perhaps too much gold and silver. Is there such a thing? I know a lot of people out there in this world will think no, there is no such thing. But then when you look at the mainstream financial advisors and the big players in the markets, they all go, gold and silver's a fool's game. It's something you should probably look to avoid. And I would counter that. I've had much success with gold and silver, but I've also got a lot to say about not having everything all in one basket. So lots to go through in today's video, and I hope you enjoy it as we go. Quick reminder to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying my content. We do this kind of video every week where we have a good old precious metal ramble, and hopefully there's something for everybody. So without further ado, how much silver and gold should we have? There's an old adage that says you should have around 10 to 15% of your net worth in tangible physical assets. And there's some school of thought to say that that is a good mantra to live by. But I suppose it depends quite a bit on your own personal sort of financial situations, whether you've got debt still, whether you've got a huge mortgage to pay off, or whether you've got a lot of credit card debt, etc. I'm personally always of the mind that you should pay off any and all debt before you start looking to buy gold and silver, with the only exception potentially being a mortgage. We've all got to live, we've all got to pay off those mortgage bills if we have them, and it's important to get those paid off as soon as possible. But it's also not practical to pay off a 25-year mortgage all in one go. But often it is better to overpay your mortgage than to buy gold and silver. But we all have to have investments and safety nets, and that is what gold really does best. It will protect that long-term hedge for all of the rest of your wealth. That is very important for some people. For others, not so much. Making sure that your mortgage is paid down and you're living debt-free is one of the key things. So if we are looking at that mantra in the way this world is, and you are having debt right now, then perhaps you should think about not having gold and silver. Now that's quite stark coming from a channel that does nothing but talk about how good gold and silver is. And I do think gold and silver have a place in every portfolio. And as I said, if you are going to look to buy it, and perhaps you're in that position where your credit card is debt-free and you're not on any car financing and those kind of silly mobile phone contracts where you're paying absurdly large amounts of money, then buying gold and silver is a good way to hedge. How much is going to be down to individuals. You'll hear some YouTubers saying it's now or never to back up the truck and buy as much as possible. But a lot of the time they're sponsored by bullion dealers, and they have really big, lovely, chunky affiliate bonus codes down in the comment section where you can go and spend lots of money, and then that lovely YouTuber will go and get a lot of kickback on it. I've never done that with affiliate bonus codes. Any sponsors that we bring on the channel are much welcomed, but it's really very much your own decision if you want to go and buy. And I've never been one to go along those lines. I personally think that if you are looking to buy gold or silver or both right now, then you should probably think about having a couple of months worth of, emergency cash at very least. always save to have something that's more liquid than even gold. Gold is very liquid, don't get me wrong. You can get your money out of this stuff so much easier and quicker than silver. But when you sell at an inopportune time, you are going to be looking to lose out on your investment. There is just no way to avoid that, unfortunately, with gold and silver. But if you've got longevity in your investment outlook and you've got some time to think about where things are going to be, perhaps you've got that long 20-year outlook, you are going to be good. To coin a phrase, you're golden. You've got that silver lining. Those are phrases which I take to heart quite seriously, and I think that there are a lot of really good positives to having gold and silver in your portfolio. Now, how much? That 10 to 15% of net worth balance there is okay, I suppose, if you've got a relatively low net worth. If you've got a relatively high net worth, though, suddenly you're looking at this rather large pile of stuff that doesn't really do anything. Yes, it protects you over time, but it doesn't give you a yield. It doesn't give you dividends. It doesn't pay you for owning it. In fact, you often have to pay to own larger amounts of gold and silver. And a lot of people don't really realize this. Even if you're buying over a shorter period of time, a long period of time with short amounts, you will end up having a large stack in a pretty quick time. And my experience of that is, I think, pretty testament to that. We started out by buying some silver in the Backyard Bullion household before I was even doing anything on YouTube. And it was lovely. We had about 100 ounces. And I literally just kept them in a top drawer in my study. And that was it. And you look back on that and you think, really, is that the best place to put them? Probably not. And so then when we actually got a little bit more, we got the bug, we went down the rabbit hole. It took a few months, actually. The first batch I bought, I literally just put it in the drawer and didn't think about it. And then I bought some more and I got down the rabbit hole, and then I started making YouTube videos. And that's kind of the rest of my life, really. So it gets out of control pretty quick. You need to then think about storage, buying safes, buying off-site storage. Insurance, home insurance, those kind of things are really important to do as well. So lots of things to consider, and you have to pay for all those things along the way. Now, if you have a fair amount of silver, which is supposedly the better thing to buy right now, as we've all been told by so many doom and gloom naysayers out there, you then suddenly are faced with space-related issues if you've got a larger budget, or if you're, going over a course of a period of time, if you it's not out of the realm of possibility for somebody on a half decent income to look to save a couple of £100 a month across a year. If you're saving £3,000 a year, I'd say you've got a decent income after all your bills. If you're saving that kind of money and you're putting it all in silver, £3,000 a year doesn't sound like a lot, but if you put that for 10 years, that's £30,000. And if you're buying decent price silver, yes, I know the price will go up and down over that 8-year period, but let's say you average at £800 a kilo, which is what you really shouldn't be paying much more than on a kilo bar right now. So we go 30,000 divided by 8. That's 3,750. Wait, what was my maths there? I'm saying £30,000 divided by 800, isn't it? You've got 37.5 kilos. That's a lot of silver in a 10-year period. That's too much to manage almost, and too much. I mean, you could store it in a safe, yes, but can you move it quickly? Can you sell it quickly if you need to? Probably not. The equivalent amount of gold in that much, if we do the maths there, 30,000 divided by, let's call it 1850, so 30,000 divided by 1850, that's 16 ounces. That's half a kilo of gold. That's it. 16 ounces. That's nothing. We've got here on the table 2, 3, 4 and a bit, 5 and a bit, 6 and a bit, call it 7, 8. I've got 8 there. I can put out a few more ounces I've got in my little funky box. 9, 10, 11, 12 and a bit, 12 and a half. You get the picture. Oh, there's one more, 13 and a half. So 13 and a half ounces there. That is so much easier than, imagine 37 kilos compared with the 13 ounces there. That is so much easier to just pick up. I can put that all in my pocket and I can walk out, I can bug out if I need to. I can also sell it much easier. So in terms of gold versus silver, I would say having a little bit of both is an important factor. There is no doubting that. But do factor in that the impracticality of silver can't be underestimated. It really can't. And I am, I think, testament to that in my sort of business. I did a video, not just this last weekend, talking about the 25 kilos that I purchased from a chap here in the United Kingdom. And hilarious thing was, when I was driving home with it, it set off the car seatbelt alarm on my car. It was that heavy. It's not practical at all. It is not. But if you have gold and you need to sell it, it is a lot more practical. You know, from my perspective as well, we're talking about storage. Off-site storage is a must when you get to a certain threshold on this kind of thing. And a lot of the time, that can be really difficult for people to get their head around. If you don't own it, you don't hold it. But from my experience, I would say if you don't have off-site storage, you know, secure off-site storage, then you're in for a bit of a shock one day, potentially, if something bad happens. Now, I know for a lot of you American brethren across the pond, you are very adamant in your defense of your metals, and that won't necessarily be a massive problem for you, but for a lot of us here in the United Kingdom, waving a pitchfork at somebody is not necessarily going to cut it. So we are a little bit stuck. So off-site storage, a must. It really is. And that comes at a cost. So long story short, should we have gold and silver at all? Yes, I think we should. I'm testament to that. I think it is a good asset to have, and it's certainly made me profits over its lifespan. Have I got one of the examples here? Yeah, we've got an example here of a 2010 Britannia. If we can get this nicely in focus with the camera anytime today, there we go. Bought for £1,015 from Atkinson's in 2017. Of course, spot price around $18.50 right now. So definitely profits to be had on these kind of things. Have I made profits on silver? 100%, yes I have, and close to 100% markups on these as well. Bought these back in 2017, 18 for about £140 each, and they will easily sell for £280 to £300 each right now. So easy markups on these bits of silver. Definitely worth it, but is it something that is difficult to own? Yes, you're gonna have to put the work in to own this kind of product. So, in answer to the question, how much gold and silver should we have? I think, honestly, depending on your net worth, you need to have a look at what the right ratio would be. If you're in that higher net worth category, then certainly having more gold than silver is a good thing. If you're in the lower net worth category and you're buying slowly over time, have a think about gold anyway, because if you accumulate a lot of silver over a period of time, you might find yourself in a little bit of a sticky problem if there was a need for you to sell and you are up against the premiums that comes with this stuff, or the simple fact that a kilo of silver is quite hefty and costs a lot to post these days. There's no avoiding that fact. So have a think about that. In terms of gold versus silver, I do think there is a place for both assets in any portfolio, but generally speaking, I would lean towards gold. It's just safer, it's better, it's got lower premiums, it's just one step ahead of silver all the way, and it always will be, unfortunately. That's just the nature of gold. It's better all round. So that's my summary. I would like to say that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, let me know down in the comment section. And also let YouTube know that you've enjoyed it by hitting the thumbs up button and also hitting the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. If you're watching to the 13th minute of my video, then and you're not subscribed, then why? Why aren't you? Just subscribe. It would be great to have you along for some of our precious metal rambles. A huge shout out and thank you to the Backyard Bullion Ramblers. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. And to the Cool Kids Club members, I say you are super extra special cool. And we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.